Okay,
Hello,
Carol,
Kim.
hello. Here we are again. Lovely.
Here we are again, the dynamic duo. We haven't been together for a little while because it's been Christmas
That's it.
and cold.
Cold, very cold here
And
and wet.
you look cold. You've got a big furry jacket on or something.
And my pad thing. Yes, but I'm okay. So,
So, you're doing the interviewing tonight,
all right.
and I'm
So,
just going to follow your lead. Kim Mendez, well known for her own abilities. What's the word? How do you say choreographer?
choreography mainly. Well, ballet dancer first, and then gone into complementary medicine,
So
um,
dancer,
acupuncture,
teacher, what
teacher
else?
now. That's on the dance side. The other hat is the medical complementary, um, acupuncture, reflexology,
Chinese.
Chinese medicine. Yes. So,
How long we know one another?
gosh, 30 years? Must be, nearly.
Oh God, 30 years partners in crime. Well, I think you know me pretty well. I think we know one another. So
Yes,
therefore, I think we should be comfortable with one another.
yes, exactly.
So
Well, I've got some questions.
if you ask me a question and I don't want to answer it, I'll do what the politicians do and don't answer.
Just evade. Well, let me see. First questions. So, with your ability and your gift, have you been scientifically tested for this in the past?
How many times?
Well, I don't know how many times, but you have been scientifically tested, haven't you, for
Yes.
your gift? Yes.
Scientifically tested in Japan
Japan,
on
yes,
all
that's right.
my abilities to be telepathic, because everything that I do is a form of telepathy.
Yes,
So
yes,
once you realize that it's all telepathy, wherever my mind wants to go and whatever it wants to find out, that is the key.
yes.
Being telepathic like we all used to be. I do believe
Yeah.
that we all used to be.
Yes, like animals have that sense, don't they? We've lost it as humans. And you always do talk about left brain and right brain, and we're
Well,
all
the
too
left
stuck in the
brain
left brain.
is, well, I've got what they call a floating brain.
Oh yeah,
Scientists now call me, I've got a floating brain. One of the doctors in the States, he said, how would you describe your brain? And I said, not realizing what I was saying at the time, but I said it's like a dolphin. And he said dolphins have got the abilities with their brain to swing from left to right at will. And of course, the dolphins have also work on a very, very high frequency.
yeah,
And also, they say that they have the ability to heal, don't they?
yes, that's right. Well, they're with autistic children in the water, and they often are healed by that. Yes, gosh, that's interesting. But so in Japan, what did they? I think we've mentioned it in the previous podcast, but what did they do in Japan when
What
they
did they
tested
do
you?
to me?
Yes,
Well, I was invited over there because initially to work on missing people,
yes, yes,
but they said that they were going to wire my brain up in the university in Denkai to see actually how my brain actually worked. They
oh
wanted to
yeah,
see what happened when I did everything.
yes,
And so that is the main reason why I wanted to go, because I
yeah,
didn't really want to go all that way. But when they said that they were going to look at my brain, I mean, I thought, oh my God, that's it. I've got to go. It's
yeah,
like all my life I knew what I did and I knew how I did it, but
yes,
I wanted to see it for myself and I wanted it to be verified. Because
yes,
don't forget, years ago, this sort of thing was, oh yeah, either unaccepted or the church deemed it as not being,
Yeah, yeah,
well,
that's right.
basically witch and whatever,
Yeah,
and not a nice person.
yes,
So, you know, there's a lot of stick attached to it. So to
yes,
get it validated scientifically was a notch up.
yes. And did you work on somebody there? Well, how did you, were you trying to find a missing person and then they were looking at your brain as you were doing it?
Well, no, when I was looking for the missing people, I had a pad. They called it sketchy pad,
Oh, yeah.
and basically, they showed me a picture of the missing person, and then I just sent my brain off well, my right brain. I slowed down my left brain. I slow it right down, send off
Yeah.
my brain with the question, and I go and I go and I go because I can't find the answers down here, and neither could they, or they wouldn't have asked me.
Yeah, that's right.
So basically, I have to go and I go and I go and I ask the question and I ask the question, and then whatever comes into my mind, whatever it is, when I come back, I either draw a picture or I do words, and these words and these pictures take me and help me find the
Mm,
information. And that is what the producers used in Japan, and in
oh, yeah.
conjunction with researchers and police
Yes. Police,
and
yes.
scouts in Mount Fuji. And so basically, my head was on the line all the time.
Yes.
But then after 2 days, then I was taken into the university for the real big testing,
Yeah.
and they wired me all up with these like electrodes on my head, and I had stickers all over my arm and my chest to check my breathing.
Mm, gosh.
And then I had a girl a girl standing in front of me, 19, 20, something like that, about 6 foot away. And I had to look at her, say what was wrong, which they didn't tell me whether it was right or
Oh,
wrong.
oh, yeah.
But then they said, how long do you want to get rid of it? Because when I diagnosed her, I just did my automatic writing, and it just came out that there was an abnormality in the left ovaries, a blockage in the
Oh,
left
yeah.
ovaries, and which she'd already been diagnosed before at, but I didn't know anything. They didn't tell me anything at all,
Oh,
and they didn't
yes.
say whether I was right or wrong. They just said, "How long do you want to get rid of it?"
Oh,
I said, "Give me 10 minutes."
okay.
And so then I went into a different mode. See, it's a mixture of telepathy and my breathing. I breathe
Yeah.
different ways and I go different places to do different things. It's like playing
Yeah.
a piano to me. I've done it all my
Yeah.
life.
Gosh. Yes.
So to get to the healing mode, to do the diagnosis was a different one. To get to the healing mode was another one. And I've got to get really, really high for that.
Yeah.
I've got to get really, really high, take myself off, bring in the energies from the higher dimensions, because nothing's down here for
Do you
me.
feel yourself going up?
Yeah, it's like I can feel myself. I it's like a spiral, and I just keep spiraling and
Mm.
bringing it in and bringing it in and bringing it in. And then when I've got enough in there, I just go out of my third eye.
Oh, yeah.
I just zoom it out.
Yeah.
And I kept zooming it into the left ovary, and
Oh,
then I
yes.
kept breathing back again. And I didn't know, but at the time, all the television screens, little television screens, the technicians and of course the producers were watching it.
Oh, yeah.
And as I was going like this, each time I did that, it changed.
Oh gosh.
So that in the end, and it was changing colour, but you see, I didn't know that.
Oh yeah. Oh no.
But then I started to get, I was working so hard that I started to hyperventilate a bit.
Oh gosh.
And I sort of panicked a little bit. And I heard a voice in my head say, "You can't stop yet. You can't stop yet. You haven't
Mm,
finished." And
mm.
I thought, right. So I thought, right, I'm going to go for it now. So off
Yes.
I went again. And then I went, you know, I thought, right, I'm not, you know, I'm going to be sat here all day otherwise. And anyway, and then I really, really pushed as much energy out of my third eye.
Yes.
Don't forget,
Oh yeah.
you know, she's 6 foot away. I'm
Yeah.
not
Gosh.
touching her or anything.
No. No.
Anyway, then I heard the voice again say, "You can stop now. It's gone blue." But
Oh
now you
gosh.
see, what you got to remember, I didn't know all the
No.
colours. My husband was standing in the corner along with all
Yeah.
the technicians. They could see it all changing.
Oh,
And they were
interesting.
going, he said he was
Oh
watching
yeah.
and they were going, and then in the end, it went blue and it just disappeared.
Gosh.
And so they all clapped. They all clapped. And as
Yes.
far as I know, I don't know for sure because I don't, but at the time I was definitely the only one that had done that test to
Yeah.
do the diagnosis and get rid of it in real time and be on, you know, all recorded.
Yes.
As far as I know, I'm still the only one that's done that.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Gosh.
when I finished, they all stood up and clapped,
Yeah.
and then I wanted to go to the ladies' room,
Oh, yeah.
and all I wanted to do was go to the toilet. Anyway, they said, I jokingly said, "E.T. wants to go home."
Oh, yeah.
Joking. I
Oh
was joking. But
yes.
because they'd seen that happen and they hadn't seen it happen before, I think they thought I was an alien. Because
Oh no. I see.
they said, "Oh, Roswell, Roswell." And they pulled my sleeve out and I thought, "Oh my God, they're gonna, you know,
Oh, inject.
stick needles in me or see what comes out if I've got
Oh
green
no.
blood or something." So anyway, they realised, you know, that I'd had enough. I wanted to go. And the professor came up to me, and he was the same one that tested Uri Geller, but he
Oh
said
yes.
my energies were different. You know, they hadn't got anything to measure me by. Apparently, I was off the
Oh no.
screen.
Yeah.
You know,
Gosh.
they said they hadn't seen it before. I mean,
Yes.
Uri Geller used his energy for different things.
Yes.
You know, people make their choices, don't they? I'm not saying
Yes.
he couldn't have done it, and maybe he could have done it, but he was into bending
The
spoons,
spoons. I remember that. Yes.
and
Spoons. Yeah.
you know, to me, I'd rather help somebody with their health than have
Yes.
a bent spoon. Do you know what I mean? It
Yes.
wasn't me to do. I'm not that sort of person. I'm very anything that I do is to help people.
Yes. His
It's
was
got
more
to be.
visible
That's what
tricks.
motivates me.
Yes. Yes.
So anyway, after that, then when I was in the university as well, they tested me on my ability to be telepathic, sending pictures,
Oh yes.
and I was supposed to be picking up a drawing from the professor. And then they decided that it was too hard. And one of the producers decided to send me another picture. But
Oh
I'd
yes.
already tuned into the professor because that's the one that they told me.
Oh
So I'd
yes.
already tuned in and I'd got 3 pictures all drawn down. I can remember one was aeroplanes and one was to do with some buildings. And I think one was some people or something, but they were all different. Anyway, I'd just done it. He said that's where the pictures were coming from. He was thinking about what he was sending, so I didn't hang about.
Yes.
I did it. And then the producer come over and he said, I didn't send you that. He said, I
Oh
sent
no.
you a pair. He said, I sent you a pair of glasses.
Oh no.
And I said, you weren't supposed to send me anything. I said, he was. Anyway, then the professor come over and he goes, oh, you do. They decided between them to change who
Oh
was
yeah.
sending the messages.
No. Oh gosh.
So I smacked the producer, a
Yes.
bit harder than what I should have done, I think. And I said, you messed it up, didn't you? Oh my God, you do not hit a top producer, a woman in
Oh,
Japan. No, the room was death. My husband was stiff in the corner.
oh no.
And I was like, I was looking at him and I thought, I can't back down now
No.
because at the end of the day, it was his fault. But you know, a woman telling a Japanese producer, anyway,
Yeah.
he knew I wasn't going to back down and I wasn't. And
No.
then I made it even worse. I went further towards him and I said, you did, didn't you? I had another peck. Anyway, I think he thought, oh my God, you know, we're going to be here all day. Because don't
Yeah.
forget, they were paying for the university.
Oh, I
All
see.
the, you know, it's a lot of money,
And
you know, to
testing.
pay for
Yeah.
everything. And I think he thought, oh, you know, I better end this. Otherwise, you know, she's not going to back off.
Yeah.
So he started to laugh. Then everybody laughed.
Oh.
They couldn't laugh until he laughed.
Oh, I
It was
see.
fine afterwards. We got on really well
Oh
afterwards.
yes.
Basically, I passed all the tests in there.
Yes.
I did
What did they
everything
do
they
with them? Do
wanted.
you know what they did with the tests?
Sorry?
You know what they did with them? With the tests?
Oh, well, everything was all recorded.
Yeah.
There's a proper, it's in Denkai University to this
Oh
day.
yes. Oh yeah.
And also the report on my brainwaves, we've got a
Yes.
proper report, yeah.
Yeah.
Because
Good.
you know how some people are skeptical and they said, no, you know, maybe they fixed the test for her
Yeah.
to win. You've
Yes.
got to be joking.
I
At
know.
the
I
end of
know.
the day, there was about 26 Japanese psychics,
Oh
and they all
gosh.
wanted to win. And
Oh,
I didn't know it was a competition because
oh
if I'd
no.
known it was a competition, I wouldn't have gone because I don't like
Yes.
competitions.
No. No.
I don't want to win and I don't want to lose.
Especially in this and in health, it's not a sort of competing thing, is it? In health, you know, you were doing good work. You don't want to be having in a competition for that.
No, I didn't.
Yeah.
But it was because I suppose they are a little bit competitive, the Japanese, you
Oh
know,
yeah.
and I as soon as I realized it was a test, it was a
Yeah.
competition, really, it freaked me out a little bit
Oh yeah. But you got the result,
because
which was
because
important.
I felt myself backing off.
Yes.
And Mike said, look, you know, you've got to get on with it really, because they're not going to worry about you. You've either
No.
got to get on with it because then the others are not going to worry about you. They're
No.
going to step all over you,
Yeah.
basically. And I thought, I'm going to have to just go for it and not.
Yeah. But going on from that, I mean, because you're known, you're called an icon now. Do you think all of that produced this? Because you're in your field, you're known as an icon, isn't it?
I am now
Yes.
because of all the things that I've said
Yes.
years ago and all the things that I've done, I've proved it.
Yes.
I've stuck my neck out,
Yes.
you know,
Yeah.
with everything really. You know,
Yes.
all the I mean it was my police cases that got me involved in Japan in the first place.
All right. Yes.
You know, that they that's always sticking your neck out
Yes.
because you're
Yeah.
always the thing is, if the police haven't found out who it is, then their methods haven't worked.
Yes.
And so having to bring it, you know, someone like me or me coming in on it,
Yeah.
I think in early days it made them feel, oh, you know,
Yes.
who she thinks she is.
Yes, yes.
But I was only like another member of the public. You know, like when they ask for help, is any member of the public can
Oh,
help?
yes.
Well, why should I be denied to help?
Yes,
I'm only the
exactly.
same as anyone else. So
Yes.
because I've got an ability, then I'm not allowed to.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But you've done so many cases, so much good work. I mean,
I
I know,
am. And there's been
yes,
so many of them now that, well, I can't count them now, but I've realised that also the cases have to be done in a certain way. You know,
yes.
whoever's asking me the questions, it has to be recorded, have to be quietly asked.
Oh, oh, yes.
You can't just say, sit down and do that, you know, or
Oh,
have
yeah.
too many producers at the same time battling questions at you. It's got
Yes.
to be done in a quiet way. If you think about it, everything that I do is like in a dream. Well, if
Yes.
you're in the middle of a dream
Yeah.
and somebody is pulling you out of it and pushing you into it and pulling you out of it,
Yeah.
you can't keep the dream going. So
No.
what they do, they have to program me to dream,
Oh,
which
I
is the
see.
brain. And then
Yes.
they have to leave me to finish the dream. You
Yeah.
can't halfway through say, oh, we don't want that, you know, you got to do, they've got to let me be.
Yes. Yes.
You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
And
Yeah.
then when I've had that dream, they can say, right, can you have another one a little bit further ahead or with other things?
Yes. Did
You
they
can't
learn to,
just boss me about.
no, but did they learn to do that approach? Did you tell them that that's what I need?
Well,
I need to
yeah,
have,
I think the Japanese were pretty good.
yes.
And I think in the end, I think the worst ones were the BBC, but we won't go there. I
Well,
mean,
solid health.
no, I mean, there's only one word to say to them. And I won't tell you the first word, but the second word is definitely off. You know, I mean, there's you see, the thing is, it's all a question of respect.
Yes.
And you are, to me, whoever you're working with, and whoever's working with you, if you don't respect one another,
Yeah.
well, then go part ways. I
Yes.
mean, that I know a
Yes.
doctor over here, and he goes like that, and he goes, "I respect you, and I respect him." You know, we do
Yeah.
certain things, you know, like with the blood work and stuff like that.
Yes.
And he might not want to be in the media, but he would quietly say what he thinks about it on his own.
Yes.
And it's because he's seen. He said, I've seen for
Exactly.
myself.
Yes. Got proof. Yes.
Yeah.
And in
And
your gift.
all
Yeah.
the doctors that have, I mean, there's quite a few doctors, scientists now across the globe um, that would say, yes, we've seen it.
Yes. Well, that's
Seen her
fantastic.
work. We've seen her abilities. We don't
Yes.
know how she does it. We don't understand, but we know that she can.
Yes. Yes.
You know,
Yeah.
and that is because I've got a track record now.
Yes.
But it
Exactly.
is really, really difficult. It
Yes.
is,
Well, I
well, it
myself,
was.
you've helped me, and you've also my patients that I've sent to you. I mean, I've seen your benefits of your
Exactly.
work. Yes.
You see, I think that um because I was so far ahead of my time, it's taken me a long time. But now people like me and people like yourself, you know, open-minded, have opened the
Yeah.
doors for
But,
people to
but
you know be able to
appreciate.
go with the flow
Appreciate.
more, and the
Yes.
doctors are more open
Yes.
because I'm always one step ahead.
Yes. Always.
I, yeah, and now the stuff that I'm doing now, because I've got the confidence of what happened before, you know, with
Yes.
the blood work that I it's been my baby now for a long time. Now, of
Yes.
course, the blood work, taking the blood out, healing the blood is now is acceptable.
Yes.
And
But
I don't know whether they accept the fact that I'm telepathic with it, but which I am though,
yes,
because
yes,
they've seen it. Certain
yes,
doctors have seen it change,
yes.
but they
Well, I have
don't,
my,
yeah, and they
yes.
can't
But
explain it.
other medicines are doing that now, aren't they? They're taking blood out and putting it back in other. I can't think, but
Well,
it's you go ahead.
now it's when I did it originally, it was, oh my God,
Yes,
you can't do that.
yes,
But then when one of the doctors saw where the healed blood went in around a tumor on a woman's arm, and 6 weeks later it had
mm,
gone,
yeah,
then they all started talking to one another in Harley Street.
yes, exactly.
And I moved away from Harley Street because I came over to Spain to do my research. Well, of course,
Yes,
now that's I'm on other stuff now,
yes,
other
yes,
stuff that people say this doesn't exist, that doesn't exist. So I'm now in another seat where what are you on about? But because I've got the confidence of my past
yes,
and I know that my brain is even further.
yes. Well, I even know myself because I knew when my mother died that I think your immune system drops when there's death or you deplete. And I had something here on my face, and I remember you saying, "I'm going to blast you." I was teaching a ballet class. You said, "I'm going to blast you at 8:30," and I knew that was after the bar, and I felt complete. I thought a swoony. I thought, "Gosh, this is the blast," and I thought I'm going to have to sit down, but I delayed going into the centre, and in 5 days it completely disappeared. Fantastic. I felt your blast. My God.
I know, you see, I get to the point, it's like your mindset. I get to a point where I go, right, I've had enough of this. I'm
Yeah,
gonna do this. And when I get like that, it's like a big charge, you know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah.
And I really, really go for it.
Yes.
But it does seem to take a lot of energy out of me normally, but I'm doing new stuff now.
Mm,
And the stuff that I'm doing now is taking me a long time to get it all together, all
yes.
these different dimensions all linking up together. And
But
apparently, um, Nefertiti, well,
oh yeah.
Nefertiti was
Yes.
not a very nice person. Well,
Wasn't it? Oh.
apparently, I was Nefertiti reincarnated, and the curse that went with her.
Mm,
And I don't want to go into details too much, but basically, until the karmic debt was paid off, I was
yeah.
cursed.
Gosh.
Doesn't mean I'm cursed to live in a certain way,
Oh yes.
and
Yeah.
it's true. And it
Yeah.
didn't matter what I did; I was always hidden away. It was
But
part of
that
the curse.
would that have been in other lifetimes as well? Because
Yeah, and
yes. Gosh.
so really now, and I have to say that I didn't think that I was going to come through the
Mm,
rebirth, if you know what I mean.
yes. Gosh.
When you pay your karmic debt, then after the karmic debt, it's like a rebirth. But
Yes.
then
Gosh.
it's like when there's a rebirth, it's like you have to let all the karma go and all the past
Oh
go.
yeah.
And it's really, really hard.
Yes.
And
Gosh.
I really didn't think I was going to make it.
Yeah. Gosh.
And some people don't make it. They don't make it and they actually die and then
Mm,
come back.
oh heavens. But
So
that's recently, hasn't it? That's been recently, the last year.
this
In the
this has been recently for me.
yes.
And I knew it I knew what was going
Yeah.
on. I know it sounds far-fetched,
No, I'm with you. I believe,
But I
yeah,
can tell you now, it's really odd how the Egyptian links are coming back in. People that feel that they were connected to the Egyptian times.
oh yes,
And it's funny how different people are coming in around me
oh
and
yeah,
feeling the same. You
oh
know, like when
yes,
you're drawn to things.
yes,
And I'm just starting to get my mojo back, if you like.
yes,
I can, I don't think I'm totally out of the woods, but I'm just starting to feel my energy levels, because
oh yes,
before, when you pay your karmic debt and then you go into a rebirth in this life,
mm,
your life force is virtually gone.
gosh,
It reaches such a low ebb, and I
yeah,
know this is a fact, and I'm
yeah,
sure there's plenty of other people that have been through that. You know,
oh,
you've got to understand it and been through it and believe in it to know. But
yes,
before the rebirth, it's a bit like, before you have a baby,
oh yeah,
before the actual baby is born, some babies are not born, and it's horrendous, isn't it? The labor and all
yeah.
that.
I've,
So
I've, I've helped a lady, induced a lady with acupuncture and helped her through her birth, but I haven't actually experienced it myself.
I know, but you can see
Yeah,
enough.
yes,
And that is the thing. And it is. And you think, are you going to make it? Are you going to
yes,
get down? When you die, you go through a tunnel. And
yeah,
when you are um reborn, it's the same sort of thing. It's always the
oh,
tunnel. When
yes,
people say they see the light at the end of the tunnel,
yeah,
but sometimes in the middle you can't see the light.
oh yes,
It's too
yes,
dark. You don't know. And that is
yes,
that is where it's really, really hard,
mm,
because you can't go back.
yeah, no, exactly, yeah, that's it.
You can't go back, and you can't see
No,
enough, and there's not enough. Well, you're in the dark.
yes, you
You
don't know
just
where.
gotta keep,
Keep going. Yeah,
gradually, sort of working your way through
yeah,
the tunnel and hoping you're gonna get out. But
yeah, gosh,
you hear people saying this, don't you? Oh God, I was in this darkest tunnel and I
yeah,
never thought I'd get to the other side. And that's
yes,
what it's like. And maybe some of them um are experiencing the end of a karmic journey. And then they say, it's funny, I was in this really dark place and I thought I was never going to come out of it. And then I come out of it and then I'm like, wow. Because
yeah.
but
I
it
mean,
don't you see?
the only experience I have is when I was very young. I was in the cot. My earliest recollections, and I used to go to sleep. I used to hate in the process of going to sleep. I'd be whooshing through this zoom, 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 zoom. It's like so fast, and then I'd get there, and I think I mustn't go. I must pull myself back, pull myself back. Only once did I go through. I could, and there was the most beautiful music, and these heads in floating about, these bearded and the voices. And I could have stayed there. I had to come back. I forced myself back, but I don't know what that was.
Had you been going through a bad time?
I was young in the cot, baby. I think it would have been a cot death if I'd gone through and stayed there.
Oh, so basically, maybe you might not have been here.
I know. I remember forcing myself back.
You see, the thing is, I mean, sometimes, the people have near-death experiences, don't they?
Yeah.
And it's strange how a lot of them see the same things. You don't think
Yes.
they imagine it and just copy one another.
No, no, no. But I remember it being fantastic, wonderful. This boy, the
It,
singing and the,
I know that happened to me once. And I'll tell you what, I was so ill. I'd been really, really ill. I'd got bronchitis. I was in a real bad way. And I sort of felt myself floating off, and I could hear something singing to me.
uh,
And I thought, cool, I like it there. I didn't want to come back.
Yeah,
And it's you get the sense it's not your time. Get
yeah.
back.
But you often say that when you're healing, that it's such a wonderful peace when you're spiraling up. And
Yeah.
yeah,
And it's like
yes,
when I'm doing my work and I'm like, you know, and I'm up there and I think, oh, and then
yeah.
somebody might not meaning to make me come back too quick.
Oh yes, it's like a jolt. Yeah.
And it's like, no, I mean, I've actually nearly been in tears sometimes.
Gosh, yes.
You see,
It's
the
got
thing is, it's like, you know, getting back to the different dimensions, the different dimensions that I work with now is a combination, and I don't care what people say either, because I know what I see. It's a
yeah,
combination of the Egyptian times, the higher energies, and there's the highest one of all that you
right,
can reach. You know, I don't go with different religions because they're man-made, but
yes,
there is something there, you know, call
yes,
it a light, whatever, but there is
yeah,
a big power up there.
yeah. Gosh,
There is. And that has got no, to me, it hasn't got a name. To me, it's
I
just a pure energy where I suppose
yes,
if you think about it, everything has got an energy. Everywhere we sit has got an energy.
yeah,
And if you think of something that created everything, the power
yes,
of that
yes,
energy, and with everybody looking towards it, it must be,
yes,
it's just incredible. Now, to me, that is
yeah,
where to look towards, not
yes.
fiddle around with all these things floating
No,
down
no,
here
no. Go to
with
the
people
source.
fighting with one another, trying to kill one another. Which one is the
Yes,
right religion? I mean, how can that
yeah,
be right?
yes. That's right.
No.
Yes,
So there's that. There's that. To me, that's the ultimate. And then there's all these other things coming down. The Egyptian times that link to
mm.
the aliens, of course, which is
Oh
a lot
yes,
of people go with that. And then there's the different dimensions which you can reach, which take you up to that higher power, which is like
yes.
little wormholes, which
Oh
I've
yeah,
just
yeah.
finished one little wormhole, another
Oh
wormhole, which is now pulled them all together with the aliens again connecting to the light. So it's the everything has a dark
yes.
and a
Oh yeah.
light.
The
Whatever it
polarity.
is, everything has a yin and a yang and a
Yeah,
dark and
yeah,
a light. So therefore, the aliens linking to the higher light. I'm not on about
yes.
any of the other little ones that are not so friendly.
Oh yeah,
I'm on about the light force,
yeah,
always the light force. So then there's the aliens and tomorrow's world technology with
yeah.
all this, you know, what they call it, the Akashic records with
Oh
all
yes,
all the energies of the minds together, you know, the professors, the scientists, think of it all as in like a great big computer where in the
yes.
future we are all connected with their minds. It's all
Yeah.
minds. You
Fantastic.
see, when people
Yeah.
say, how do you do this and how do you do that? I say it's my mind.
Yes.
And I don't put any barriers on it. And I don't let anyone else do it either.
No, no.
If they say, you can't do that. And I think, well, who are you to say I can't do it? Well, look, you know,
Yes. But you're doing
you
your
can't,
natural. Yeah. Can't put any
you know, how do you
limitation
know
on.
I can't?
Yeah.
What, how do you know, who told you I can't?
Yes.
And so I
Exactly.
think, no, I'll have a go. And so if
Yes.
I want to, you know, shrink something from from Spain to Monaco, I will shrink it
Yeah.
or I will change it.
Yes.
I'm not going
Yeah.
to have somebody tell me it's not possible because as
No.
soon as you say it's not possible, it's a negative, isn't it?
Yes. You limit, and it's that they're putting their limitations onto you, and they're only doing it from their viewpoint because they think it's impossible, but they don't know you and what
Yeah,
your capabilities, your gift has given you.
Well, the thing is, it's like when I first got into the British Register of Complementary Practitioners. Remember,
Oh
you
yes,
you were the
yes,
one that instigated that.
yes, yes,
Remember? And Michael Endicott said, "Oh, normally you're tested by a body, but because I'd got all my scientific testing
oh
and
yes,
my testimonials from people, I haven't got any
yes,
qualifications."
yeah.
He said, "Normally you're tested by the body." And so I said, "Who tests the body then?" And he laughed. But it's true, isn't it?
Exactly. Yes,
You know, who's the body?
yes,
Who creates the body? Who says who should be testing who?
yes,
See, I don't get involved with that sort of thing. To me, if you get involved with that sort of thing, then you are putting a limit, like you say, on your abilities. You can't go no farther than that because nobody says you can do it. You can't do any further than that because he says you can't do it. But
yeah,
who are they to
exactly,
say that you can't do
e-
it?
exactly. We're
I
looking
always
at it.
say to people, go and have your courses, get the base of what you
Yeah,
need to know, your base, you know,
yes,
and then your base, like how to switch off your brain, how to turn it on, how to learn to, control it and lead a life around it because it can
yes,
be difficult. Get
yes,
everything that you need to know and then
yeah,
fly with it.
yes. So where do you feel now that your work is leading you to?
Well, I feel now that I'm going more into the quantum physics and science. I feel that they're saying that, that they know how to harness the 0 point energy, they know how to,
Yeah.
you know, to use it. And I think they know that it exists, but I
Oh yeah,
don't think they know exactly how to utilize it. No,
yeah.
I don't.
No, no,
But you see, I do. I know that all the scientists and all the professors all know all a lot more of all the words than I do. But
yeah,
knowing the words doesn't mean to say that they can go where I go with my
no.
brain, does it?
Exactly, exactly. Yes,
So I think I'm going more and more deeper.
yes,
I'm going more into research and I've got a ghostwriter. I'm hoping to get my book
yes.
out.
Oh, good.
And but I'm also hoping to bring more light into the what people don't know about in a simple way. Who wants to
Yes,
blink and go and get a dictionary to understand what they've said? Everything's
yes.
too complicated.
But the world needs this light.
I know, but everything has, everybody has to make everything complicated. And
Yeah.
it isn't complicated
No,
because it wasn't complicated when it was created,
no. I think
was
ego
it?
gets way.
The
Ego
men and the
gets.
women were put
Mm,
there and everything fitted together. What's wrong with that?
yes, exactly.
And that
Yes,
was to produce.
yes.
Now they've got it all complicated. Well, we won't go there.
No,
It's true though, isn't it?
it is. It is. I think it's to stop the human race, to stop producing, confusing
I
everybody.
I think now it's reached a point where if things aren't made back to being simple again
Mm.
and people wanting to help themselves and being able to help themselves, I think it's going to, really complicate things more. I think
Yes,
people are going to have to start really wanting to sort of like look at their own health, look at the simple ways to help themselves. I mean,
yes. I think,
crikey, look, you know what? This is the best medicine ever.
yes, yes. I know. Yeah. I don't drink enough, but yes,
Yeah. I mean, look,
yes.
what do you think? You're in medicine all the time. Well, the amount of money that people spend on really, really expensive treatments.
Yes.
Is
I
it
think
helping?
no, I think people are looking more for vitamins and not vitamin, looking for help by thinking what do they need and sorting out their lifestyle. This lifestyle is a lot, isn't it? Sort of I always think it's like a battery and a radio. If you put it on all the time and it's blasting out, then the battery is going to wear out. So you have to think, okay, I'm going to switch the radio on a little bit here and then have breakfast and turn it off, come back, do a bit in the day, have my lunch, turn it on, turn it off. And then, so you moderate when you have the battery on and when you don't have it on.
Exactly. You know what the best
Mm,
thing is? A cat nap.
exactly, yes.
20 minutes cat nap.
Yes,
You
yes, I
know,
have,
how simple is that? But no, it
yeah,
can't be that simple, can it?
yeah. No, it does refresh though.
It
Yeah, sometimes
does.
it's impatient, so and then you've got a second wind then.
You see, thing is, the relaxation, the relaxation of the mind and getting it into a peaceful state, however you
Yes,
can do that,
yes,
feeds every part of your body.
yeah, yeah,
And if you can't do that, in times of real bad stress, and you're
yes,
not feeding that life
yes,
force, basically,
yes,
your life force is given to you
mm,
in a free, simple way, and feeding it is a
yes,
free, simple way. Going down the beach, breathing in the sea air, going for a walk.
yes,
It's all
yeah.
simple stuff.
Simple things, yes,
You can't
yeah,
get that out of a bottle,
no,
can you?
exactly,
All, if you think about it, all the things that feed the body are simple and free that you
yes,
can't get out of a bottle and you can't buy. It's having a cuddle on a bad day, somebody putting their
yes,
arm around you,
yes.
isn't
Can
it?
salute you completely, yes.
And
Someone
going for a
giving you a
walk.
bit of love, yes,
Yeah, the simple stuff. And if you
yes,
haven't got that, there's
yes,
nothing feeding your life force. And so if
yes,
you haven't got it, then you go and mix with people that you know are going to give it to you, don't you?
yes, yes, that's
Get
right,
little groups together and listen to
yes,
some music.
yes,
It's so
music,
simple. And you're
yes,
not going to feed your life force out of a bottle,
pills, yes,
are
no,
you?
no,
Take a tablet for this, take a tablet for that.
yeah,
No,
yeah,
it's the physical
exactly,
contact that is now going down. People, there's not the communication at all like there used to be, is
yes,
there?
no, no, not in that tactile way, yes,
No, it's not there,
yeah,
is it?
no,
Even when you want to ring up somebody to get help, you get put onto an answer phone and passed around until by the time you get to somebody, you're ready to do whatever it was you were going to do before you rang up the Samaritans.
yes,
Actually, I think they are pretty good, the Samaritans, though.
yeah, they do stop people doing nasty things, yes,
Well, there is somebody normally there, but what I'm saying is you wouldn't need the Samaritans if you had somebody there, would you?
no, no, no. But that's leading also to your sanctuary because you've set up your sanctuary where people can go for
Well,
your
this is it. The
healing.
healing sanctuary, because this is a sacred site. This is, Rory Duff. This
Oh
is,
yeah,
who's well known for his ability to, well, I don't know whether they dowse. I don't know how they do it because that's how he does
yes,
it. But the ley lines and all that, I don't
yes,
know how he does it.
yeah,
But we do seem to reach the same conclusion in a different way. I
yes,
draw the houses of where I'm going to live. He tests them afterwards and they're on a ley line, but I didn't know that.
yeah, yes,
See what I mean?
yes,
But the sanctuary now is a sacred site, and the energies since I've been, funny enough, on this bit, because a ley line, you've only got to move a little bit and it might be different.
oh yeah,
So it seems to be stronger in this bit that I'm here now.
yes, yes,
And the energies here when I'm in here on my own and it's quiet, this is where I get all my latest stuff.
Yes, gosh.
And the latest stuff that I'm getting now
Yes.
is all about further on from what the scientists and the researchers are using now for medical equipment, but I'm further on.
Oh, yes. Fantastic.
I'm that
You've
that
gone
is
past
not
that.
what I'm seeing, and
Yeah.
what I'm doing is nothing like what they're doing now.
Yes.
But I can see that on the start of it.
Yes.
Do you see
Yeah,
what I
see.
mean?
Yes.
And I know it's not my imagination because there's no way when I see these things, I know what they are.
Yeah.
They just come into my mind. And then when they come into my mind, it's to help people. And then
Yes.
I figure it out afterwards.
Yes. Great. Yeah.
See what I
But
mean?
yes. But I was going to say, the sanctuary you've set up for people like
The
myself,
sanctuary
who
is
can go.
set up really, really simple on a donation thing so that everybody can be part of this protective energy, this healing
Yes.
energy on the
Yes.
site. And loads of stuff has happened.
Yeah.
Just they look at my picture and they ask in their mind to be part of the sanctuary. They join the sanctuary, which is quite simple, but somebody said it needs to be a bit more simple. I mean, not when people are not very well and they're not very good at technology. What is
Yes.
simple, what looks simple, in actual fact, when they're a bit stressed, isn't, is it?
Yeah,
So
I
I'm
know.
trying to find a way to simplify it more.
Yes.
And once they ask in their mind, because what you've got to remember, everything is mind.
Yes.
Everything is telepathy. So
Yes.
people say, "Oh, who's listening?" Well, there it is. It's the porthole. You're
Yes.
talking
Yeah.
to the porthole, and
Yeah.
you're part of that energy. So if you're saying in your mind you want help with your legs or your arms or whatever, you're
Yes.
already there. And
Yes.
then when you meditate, when you, I always say to people on my CD, which is on Amazon, where meditation techniques don't change. I
No.
did it a long time ago, but it's still the same thing. How to
Yes.
shut your left brain off, go to your right brain. That will never change. This is
No.
our head. It's not going to change, is it?
No. No. Exactly.
So
Yes.
basically, those techniques will go on forever. And,
Yes.
and so in there, I say to let their left eye go to their right eye, which is a signal to go to their right brain. But sometimes
Yes.
people say, oh, I can't do it, but they don't realize they've only got to think
Yeah.
it.
Yes.
Thought is the deed.
Yes. Yes.
So
And I
whether
feel
they feel their eye sliding over or not
yeah.
is irrelevant. The fact
Yes.
is, if you're thinking, that is the key to the door. So you're
Yes.
saying, I want my left eye into my right eye. That is the key to get into the right brain. You don't have to do no more. That is the
No.
key. It's like sticking a key in the door and turning it.
Yes.
Do you see what I
Yes.
mean?
Yes.
And once you get your head around the fact that everything is thought,
Yes.
it's
Yes.
the other day I lost my purse, and nobody likes to lose their purse and all your cards in it and everything. And somebody said, "Is it in your bag?" I goes, "Go away, leave me alone. It's not in my bag. I know it's not in my bag." So I put my hand on my head like that on my third
Oh yeah.
eye so that it totally blocked out any noise that was going on where I was. And I just
Yes.
rubbed it around like that. Where are you? Where are you? Where's my purse? On your bed at home.
Oh
So I rang up Mike and I goes, "Mike, can you check to see if my purse is on the bed?" He goes, "Yes." Do you see what I mean?
fantastic. Yes.
So if I go like that, I'm not thinking. And I don't know. I
Yes.
don't think anybody saw me do it. I probably thought I would start raving mad if
I'm
they
going to do
did.
that.
But by doing that, you see, on your third eye, going
Yes.
like that on your third eye, it's totally blocking out
Yeah.
anything else. It's a quick way of, I was getting stressed.
Yes.
I
Yes.
didn't want to have to ring up and cancel all my
Please.
credit
I
cards.
can't. I know. Yes. This is a
I
bore.
don't
Yes.
like anything like that. So that's
No.
what I did. And I went, "Where are you? Where are you? Where's my purse?" It's handy. I mean,
Yes.
I don't use it all the time for myself, but yes, in certain times I do.
Mm.
But I've got little techniques, that I do to
Yes.
totally cut myself off. And then it's whatever comes into my mind. Where are you? Where are you? Like when the guinea
Yes.
pigs were missing and the rabbits and stuff.
Oh,
Where are
yes.
you? Where are you? And then I just walk along, open a drawer, and there's the blinking guinea pig. Never think it would be in the bottom. Oh, no, that was a hamster. Sorry, not a guinea pig.
Oh,
You'd never think the hamster would be in the bottom of the drawer eating the top of my bloody dictaphone,
oh, oh no.
the leather thing. And it was so surprised when I opened the drawer. I put a lasagna and I picked it up like that. And it was, all
He thought,
covered in leather where it had been eaten it
oh
and put
no.
it back in its cage.
He thought he got
And
away
loads
with
of
a
times I've
treat.
done that. Where are you? Where are you? And then one time we were renovating a house and the wall had just been plastered and Hopster, one of the hamsters, had gone missing. And I said, "Where are you? Where are you?" And I pointed to the wall. Mike said,
Oh,
"Oh my God." He said, "I've just plastered that."
oh no.
I said, "It's in there."
Oh
He
no.
said, "Are you sure?" So he made a hole. And at first, nothing came out. And I sat there for 2 hours on the landing. I thought, I
Oh
know you're
gosh.
in there. So
Oh
I put
yeah.
some bread along the landing
Oh yeah.
and I was watching. Sure enough, out come the two little whiskers.
Oh no.
And then to begin with, I didn't leave it long enough. I went to grab it and it had time to run back into the
Oh,
hole. So I had to start again.
oh
So
no.
that I had more time to grab it than he did to get
Yes.
back in. So
Oh
then he
yes.
come back out again and I had to wait till he was right near the door. And I thought, you're never going to get back in there now. I'm going to get you. And I got him like that. And he was absolutely covered in dust and
Oh no.
cobwebs and God
Oh
knows
yeah.
what. And you could see, well, he wasn't in a very good mood. But
No.
anyway, I put him back in his cage and give him some water and he was fine. But this is it, you see. You just got to, like when there's missing people and stuff like that. And I've
Yes.
worked on loads of things with missing animals and where are you? Where are you?
Yeah.
Where are you?
Gosh.
You just got to go with it. It's just that
Fantastic.
sometimes it's a bit scary when someone's got to
Oh,
either rip up a whole new carpet, what's just
oh
been
yeah.
laid, because I've said a ring has gone
Oh no.
down into the floorboards.
Oh yes. Oh gosh.
Oh
Yeah.
my God, Carol, are you sure? And yeah, he's going to kill me, Carol, if that ring's not there.
Oh,
Oh, please, is it there? Sure enough, up come the carpet, right down in between a
oh
little
yeah.
crack was the ring that her dad gave her before
Oh
he
no.
died.
Oh gosh. Oh, it's
See what
important.
I
Yeah.
mean?
Yes.
So it is a bit scary,
Yeah.
but I just go with it.
Yeah. Fantastic. Yes.
But it's
I was one.
all mind.
Yes. Because you mentioned
If
the pod
I
as
get in
well.
the shop, I can't even find my own shoes. I've got to get into that, you know,
Yeah.
place.
Yes.
But this place where I go, once you get the key and know how to get into it, and you learn to trust it,
Yes.
it's not unique to me.
Oh
It's
yeah.
just because I've never done anything else but.
Yes. So we can all do it too.
Yeah, you
Yes,
can start. I really do believe that you can sort of, if you really want to, and you've got to work at it. It doesn't,
yes,
I mean, I've been doing this since I was 5,
yes,
but I really believe that if you say in your mindset you want to learn to use your mind, use your brain, let it run free. I always say, let it run free. I hate
yes.
it when anybody harnesses my brain,
Yeah, no,
because if
yeah,
it don't run free, it don't go to where it's got to
but
go. You
exactly.
can't,
Yeah,
like I said, you can't stop a
can't
dream.
limit it. Yeah, no, can't limit. Yes,
You know what? If you every time you had a dream, somebody was stopping you before the end.
yes,
It's true though, isn't it? Because a lot of
yes,
people dream things.
yes,
I think we better
yeah.
stop.
But I often think it's people's ego, isn't it? Ego comes in, or
Well,
or
yeah, and I haven't got
they
any.
can't understand it.
I haven't got an ego, because you know what? It's hard to have an ego, because everything that most people find easy to do, I am terrible. I'm not very good on computers, anything with a button. I'm a fiasco, to be honest.
Yeah,
No, I am. And I try, but I think my right, your brain is like a muscle, isn't it? You know,
yes.
and my right muscles, where I've used my right brain so
Oh
much,
yeah.
are so strong.
Oh yes.
I'm sure that, oh, I have got a left brain,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
but it's not as strong as the other side, because it'd
Yes.
be like
Yeah.
if you kept,
Yeah, that's
working out
yes.
on one
Advice.
side, what would the other side be like?
Yeah. Like tennis players.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly. Anyway, have you enjoyed that, Kim?
Oh yes, Carol, it's fantastic. Fantastic. Every time I learn so much.
But it's all simple, isn't it?
I know, but just to hear it again and just to hear you speak about it, it's fantastic.
Well, let's hope that other
Yeah.
people like listening to it, and
Yes,
we
okay.
get invited. And let's hope that we get invited together on another podcast together.
Yeah. I
Okay.
love it. Yeah, lovely. As you say, put it
Thank you,
out there.
Kim.
Carol, bye
Goodbye.
bye.